I know we made so many videos about the whole what actually is a bad diet and why you cannot make a bad diet, why you should be making specific diets and not general, etc. We made so many videos about this. But the mindset is so common that I just cannot help myself, to be honest. And I spoke with Allah way before this video, honestly. I think for like 3 hours maximum. Because I don't know, I'm being stupid. So let's be stupid. Listen, I'm not gonna keep making the same arguments, or at least I'll try not to. But I will say, I know we've all watched those billions, honestly probably billions or millions of videos at this point, of the same thing. Someone talking about their experience, making du'as for years, doing istikharas, doing tahajjuds, doing umras, doing anything that comes to mind, all of the worshipping you could possibly do, reading Quran, memorizing hadith, let's go. And their dua got replaced. Or something else. It got replaced, but actually it got granted first. Exactly what they asked. But it turned out to be such a horrible thing, essentially to teach them what you were making was bad, right? So like someone wishing for a husband, and that's a real story, by the way. They were wishing for a husband, they got the husband. They got it. They were so happy, so over the moon, so shocked, in awe. It's so beautiful. But then the husband turned out to be a piece of crap. And they even had kids with them before they turned out to be a piece of crap. So you get the idea, basically. What is this? What did I do wrong? Etc., 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 etc. But then, so now they're crying, constantly crying. What did they do wrong? After all of those years of making dua, what did they do wrong? What did they do wrong? Then comes some other husband guy that they obviously don't care about. You already know how the stories go. They don't care about them. They just want to forget their previous husband that they divorced. All they're desiring is, I just want to forget it. I just want to move on. I don't care who it is. I'm just going to accept whoever. Oh my God, it was the best decision of my life that I accepted this person. And oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm so in love with Allah. And you get the idea, right? That is what happens. That is how it always happens with his stories. Or at least the ones I've seen, which are almost unbelievably the same exact result, right? SubhanAllah. We've all seen them. And as they say, they've learned their lesson, they're so happy, they're so in love with Allah, and you get the idea. And then it's almost always the same exact lesson. Never make specific du'as, or here's another recent one, or at least I think it's recent, I don't know. Allah gives you what you need, not what you want, right? SubhanAllah. Again, we've already made so many videos about this, right? Number one, this entirely contradicts the Prophet's du'as. Completely, unequivocally, contradicts the Prophet's du'as in their entirety. And their entire existence of their du'as, honestly, ever since the start to the finish. It contradicts all of it. SubhanAllah. Now here's what I call, in my opinion, spiritual PTSD. Ask any of those people, any one of them, provided they're sincere, of course, from Allah's reasons. Have they ever made another dua? So, as we said, they love Allah more than ever. They've been so close. It's always Allah, Allah, Allah from now on, etc. You get the idea. Love has raised, right? Ask them to make another dua. Now, I'm speaking psychologically here, okay? Just common sense, logic, and psychology, all combined. SubhanAllah. You can even see it multiple times. They hint it sometimes throughout their videos that they will never ever want to fall into that trap again. I will never ever make a dua specific like that again and cry over it and all. You get the idea, right? So they're never going to ever make a dua with the same intensity, right? Never again. So the spiritual PTSD that I'm talking about. SubhanAllah. So that's a question. And that's immediately going to be the answer, in my opinion. Right? Even though, as we said, love has risen, trust has risen, etc. You get the idea. Again, I know this sounds harsh. And it probably is. But I'm being honest here, guys. Okay? I've seen millions of these videos. SubhanAllah. And my responsibilities, I've seen them. And they've linked me them multiple times. SubhanAllah. Now, since we humans love to use emotional logic sometimes, right, to drive a point, then let's make Allah in the center of it and make it divine emotional logic. Imagine the one that literally tells you, by the way, in the Quran, call upon me and I will respond to you. So, I'm doing exactly what he told me to do. I am going to call upon you, Ya Allah. You were not specific. You said, call upon me. Ask what you want, whatever you want. Okay, I'm going to do exactly that. And at the very end, he says, essentially, because that's the lesson they're talking about, right? You made a mistake. You were calling for something that was bad for you. But you're the one that told me to call upon you. But then you're telling me it is bad, what I called for. SubhanAllah. Do you get the point of what I'm saying? How is that even possible? SubhanAllah. So it contradicts the prophets. It contradicts Allah's character. The Wadud, the guide, in his holy names, by the way, the guide. It contradicts literally everything in our role models, including the Creator himself, who's literally nicknamed the Answerer and the Guide. SubhanAllah. So that presents a logical dilemma. If that truly was the lesson Allah was teaching them, not to make specific du'as, the mistake was you made the wrong dua, it was bad for you, so I showed you that it was bad for you. Right? That's a logical dilemma. What is the lesson Allah's actually teaching? SubhanAllah, in my opinion. The one that doesn't contradict his character, doesn't contradict the prophets, and does not give you spiritual PTSD from now on after this lesson. SubhanAllah. What we said for a millionth time together about Furqan, what Allah said will give you Furqan, stands between a person and their heart, said in a hadith himself. So the people, because I already know some people are going to say, but Ahmed, you know sometimes when you're making a dua, you are making it out of your own desires. How are you supposed to know that? If I desire shawarma, by the way, a sheikh said this, if I desire shawarma or something, how do I know this is Allah's desire for me? No, it is my own desires. So yes, they can get replaced because they're my own desires. That is true. However, well, that's exactly the point of Furqan. It isn't your desires. What I like to call Furqan in another way is, instead of a moral compass, which we all are accustomed to, even non-believers are accustomed to it, we inherently know sometimes what is right and wrong, right? Without religion. A Furqan is more like a divine moral compass, a completely other realm of moral compass that isn't given to everyone, because it's given by Allah himself, tuned with him, with his frequency. SubhanAllah. You see where I'm going with this. So for the shawarma example, if your heart is truly tuned to Allah's frequency, Meaning, Allah gave you the condition in the Quran. Be mindful of Him. Much like when you're at work, let's be real, a lot of times, all you're thinking about is, right, your husband at home or your wife. You can't wait to get back to them at home. They hug you, they kiss you, etc. They missed you, right? You're thinking of them. The whole time you're thinking of them. I can't wait to get back home. That's what Allah means by being mindful of Him. It doesn't mean you bury your face in the Quran, bury your face in hadiths, do your tahajjuds, do your istikharas, do your prayers. It's more about not the action, but realizing who that action is directed to. It's mindfulness of Allah, taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Constant thinking of Him. But it's Allah. Also Allah. I'm thinking what I'm going to do with Allah today. I'm thinking what I'm going to talk to Allah about. He's constantly in my mind. So, Allah said what? He stands between you and your heart. That furqan is internal, not external. Your heart becomes tuned to His frequency. So back to the shawarma example thing. Your desires become no longer your own because they become tuned to His. Since He's in the heart, He won't allow the bad things that are out of alignment to come out of you. Or if they do, because it's an active thing. Furqan is active, guys, not passive. It's not a binary. It's not off, on. It's constantly on. It constantly keeps awareness. It constantly keeps your ego in check. It constantly keeps you grounded. So it's not a binary. So even if the wrong thing were to come out, like a dua that would bring you away from Him, etc., He would not allow it because He's keeping your furqan in check. Subhanallah. Because if furqan were a binary, guess what happens? You wouldn't struggle with Dajjal at all. You wouldn't struggle. Oh, there's kafir right there. You're a liar. You're not Allah. Boom! And everyone is happy, celebration all around. Is that how it is? Is that how it's described? No. Even when you see kafir on his forehead, you're going to struggle immensely. Your furqan is constantly working overtime. So it's not a binary, guys. It's not an on and off switch. Subhanallah. It's active. And it can turn off if you go out of alignment. That's why. It's not a one thing. Subhanallah. As long as you're mindful of Allah, He told you, I grant you furqan. He literally told you. Subhanallah. He even said in that other hadith, my servant draws close to me with his religious duties that I love him. And what did he say at the end? I become his hearing. I become his listening. I become his hands that he strikes. I become his feet that he walks with. He literally said it. I become you. I become your desires. I become your hands, your feet, your mouth, whatever. It's a hadith. Subhanallah. So highlighting the thing about furqan. He becomes your desires. Because He loves you so much, He doesn't allow your desires, your ego, etc. to take over. So you cannot make a bad dua. Subhanallah. That's the lesson that Allah is teaching you when you make a bad dua. He can either give it to you, so like that story, give you that husband for you to see that it's bad, or He might just replace it right off the bat, or after a while for delays or whatever. But the lesson is the same. It's to discipline you, not to tell you, you made a mistake. You made the wrong dua. That's what you did. Next time when you make a dua, keep it general. Next time you make a dua and you ask me of something, I give you what you need, not what you want. Even though I'm the same that literally told you, call upon me and I'll respond to you. Subhanallah. And here's the ultimate irony with the general dua philosophy. It's all about Allah gives you what is best, right? That is what it's about. Okay. Well, do you want to know the ultimate general dua that you truly can make, and it guarantees no replacement, and 1,000,000% you respect that Allah knows what is best? Here's the shocker. Don't make dua at all. Because you already making dua implies Allah did not give you what is best, which goes completely against the entire philosophy of general dua. Do you see what I mean? Then don't make dua at all. You're implying He did not give you what is best. Be happy with what you have. Why are you making a dua? Didn't you say He gives you what is best? Well, you already have what is best. But you're also saying I'm going to keep it it's inconsistent. It makes no sense. Subhanallah. And here's another ironic statement. It also becomes subjective. What is a general dua? Because I can play that game. What makes it general? What makes it specific? When do you draw the line, as they put it, right? I just asked for a righteous husband. I did not specify what the husband is. Well, you know some people actually die without a husband or wife and they get married in the afterlife, right? So, I can argue that's also a specific dua. What if you're not meant to have a husband in this dunya? Do you see how we can play that game? It's never ending. So the entire philosophy just does not work, in my opinion. It makes no sense. Subhanallah. This is an example of what I call preachy talk. And I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. But honestly, that's what I believe. It's preachy talk, which is essentially, you're saying beautiful things. Truly beautiful things, honestly, mashallah. However, they are not applicable at all in the real world. You cannot apply them. You're basically saying all the right thing, all the beautiful things, but you cannot apply those things. Make dua with the certainty that He will answer, like the hadith said. But also know He can replace that dua. So how am I supposed to have certainty that He will answer, but also knowing that He's going to replace it, or could replace it? Then that's not certainty. It's either I have full certainty or I don't. Yaqeen is not a spectrum. It's absolute. Subhanallah. How can I have absolute certainty while knowing in the back of my mind He could replace my dua? Is that what the prophets had? No, they had absolute, unwavering certainty that Allah will answer them with what they asked. Subhanallah. So again, try to get those same people that are making these videos to do that. Make another dua. Even a general dua. It will be extremely filtered in their speech because they're essentially walking on eggshells. They do not want to fall into that trap ever again. Again, what I like to call spiritual PTSD. Subhanallah. Now let's reverse those videos with people saying they got what they asked for. After years of waiting, same exact thing, but they got what they asked for. And by the way, I need to say this real quick. Allah's always going to give you better than what you asked for, by the way. But it's very important to understand what better means. It does not mean different to what you asked. It's just bigger than what you asked for. To give you a stupid analogy that I can think of at the back of my mind, it's very simple, stupid, but kind of gets the point across. You're asking for a lake of Pepsi. He's going to give you a moon of Pepsi. You ask for a moon of Pepsi, He's going to give you a galaxy of Pepsi. The essence is the same. The picture of that essence isn't. Because Allah Himself in a hadith, I don't remember it verbatim, so don't quote me. He said something along the lines of, if you walk towards Him, He runs towards you, right? And if you extend your hand, He extends His arm. So in other words, He's always going to one-up you. So yes, He's going to always give you better than what you asked. If I ask for, like I said, a lake of Pepsi. He gives you a moon. Okay, then I'm going to ask for a moon. He's going to give me a galaxy. But it's still Pepsi. Now, a replacement would be, I asked for a lake of Pepsi. I got a moon. Better. However, it's not Pepsi. It's 7-Up. See what I'm talking about? Subhanallah. Again, I know, stupid analogy, but it's kind of funny. So back to our example. You're making the same exact video and you got what you asked for. Alright? Same exact thing at the end, and they claim the same thing. Their love for Allah is the highest it's ever been. They're so happy, they're so grateful, etc. Same exact thing as the other videos. However, now ask them the same question. Would you make dua again? I guarantee you, from Allah's reasons with all my heart, they're going to scream into the void and tell you, of course, I'll make it with far more intensity than last time. I'll put more focus into it. They're not walking on eggshells. They don't have spiritual PTSD. Everything, they'll make it even more. They'll make it 10 times more. They'll love Allah 10 times more, etc. They're not walking on eggshells. SubhanAllah. They're not going to talk about general dua. Is there any of this? In fact, probably they're going to make the dua even more specific next time. SubhanAllah. The certainty has raised. Their yaqeen has raised. Their love has raised. Everything raised. SubhanAllah. Okay, Ahmed, so what is the thing with the other crowd then? You said it's the lesson. It wasn't the lesson that they need to make general du'as from now on, or that they made the mistake and the du'a was, by the way, imagine you're literally, the du'a, a part of worship, by the way, and you didn't make a haram du'a, you just made a wrong du'a. Imagine du'a is a part of worship and you made a bad du'a. How does that make sense? SubhanAllah. The part of worship. Allah is telling you the part of worship, and honestly, in my opinion, the best way, yes, the best, in my opinion, not one of the best, the best way to get close to Allah is so making dua and begging Him, which He loves, by the way. Literally said He loves the beggars, makes those that beg for dua, etc. Ilhah. And He says, you made the wrong dua. So I made the wrong part of worship? Or is He actually saying the actual lesson is you are not tuned to my frequency? Your dua was rooted in your desires. You did all the right things, istikhara, all of this. However, your heart was rooted in your own desires and ego. It was not tuned to my frequency. So I didn't give you furqan. You couldn't tell what is bad and what isn't. SubhanAllah. But when you learn that lesson, you will make dua again, even after all of those disciplines and years of brutal trials. You will make dua again in far more intensity. But this time, not walking on eggshells, no filters, just you're tuned to Allah's frequency from now on. SubhanAllah. And for the record, if Allah knows you're going to be tuned to His frequency in the middle of the dua or whatever, because you never start off as that, by the way, for the record, before anyone says, He will still let you know it's bad. SubhanAllah. Because He stands where? Between you and your heart. He will tell you. But in my opinion, if He knows you aren't going to know this, even in the middle, end of the dua, etc., then yes, your heart can definitely mislead you. It can be darkened by sins. It can be darkened by your own desires, or shadowed by your own desires. It can be darkened by your distractions in this dunya, by your own ego. But when there's furqan, nothing can overshadow it, because the desires are not from you. He became your listening. He became your hearing. He became everything about you. He became your ears, your mouth, etc. So therefore, He became your dua. Subhanallah. How beautiful.